You're an immigrant.
Actually, depending who is asking that question, if it's you asking, I am, because I'm facing the same troubles that immigrants do. But if it's just a random occasion when I need to speak up about my status and who I am, I would rather to say that I'm an expat, to declare my position, because also in Georgia there is this attitude towards Armenian, maybe also to Azerbaijanis, people coming from this region, that we are kind of less important or not as that cool as people coming from the Western world. Many like stereotypical phrases and expressions that they would make with me, and I'm getting tired of it, and every time I face that issue that I need to explain.
Yeah, no, I definitely had a couple of comments on like that. Usually people think that I'm Georgian, I look Georgian, I guess. And when I don't speak Georgian, they get surprised, and well, like, we thought Azeris are not that white. That's what I get. And then I look too modern, too contemporary, or something, not some image that they have of Azerbaijanis, I guess, here. So I do get comments like that, and I get angry sometimes. I was doing human rights work and peace building for many years. I mean, half of my life at this point. And it's always been something controversial in Azerbaijani society and quite dangerous to do. And there was a lot of pressure and a lot of harassment. And during the war, obviously, I had opinion. I had an opinion, and not a mainstream opinion. I was against the war because I worked with so many refugees and war veterans for so many years. For me, it was obvious that the consequences of war are not really, at least for me, they're not really worth the war itself, and that's not a popular opinion, so I decided to leave. So I don't participate because I was also becoming violent, and for me it doesn't make any sense. If you're against violence and against war and you're becoming violent yourself, what are you exactly trying to do here? Yeah, I prefer to have a dialogue, and when there is a war, dialogue is not really possible sometimes.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
People say that it's not a good time now, and never say when it's a good time to do it.
People are not ready.
Yeah, actually never. Yeah, but I totally can relate to all the things that you're mentioning about leaving your country. I personally was in Nagorno-Karabakh working in 2020, covering there, and your life is also changing when you personally witness the war and getting affected by that. There was a local guy, Grisha, working with us on the field, who came to show the damages of the war, and he himself died there from the explosion of Grad. Two journalists also got wounded, and when you yourself witness that, it's very difficult to stand the governmental propaganda. Then you are coming back to Yerevan, and from the news you hear totally different stories. Those people are just living war by war, you know, like there is no one in Qarabağ who didn't lose anyone. Then you come and you hear what they say, we're gonna win. What are you gonna win? Are you playing football or what? They would use the factor of the war for justifying the poverty in the country, that the money should go to the army, that why should we have this high level of nationalism and militarization in the country, and so many other things. Whenever it was needed for the state, that would be justified. But in other cases, the state itself would not take actions for preventing the war itself. What is it for you?
It was very interesting, like throughout my career, like I worked with so many war veterans. Almost every veteran I talked to was saying that we still don't know what happened, you know, like even 30 years past the violence. And when they went to war, Azerbaijan didn't really have an army. It was a new country, no army, no order, no nothing. People were just fighting with whatever they had at home, and there was no trauma work done at all for people in the 90s, including the refugees. When I was studying as a child, I went to school in 98. We would draw actually soldiers bleeding and tanks on these days, and that was like incredibly integrated in our education system.
Same in Armenia. If we just change the names, we're going to have totally the same picture what was happening in Armenia. These militarizations starting from kindergarten, from the schools, people would take their children to the photo shoots with military forms, you know, with weapons. It's so normalized. That's the thing. The war, we witnessed the war and we normalized it. And here comes the worst part. When there is a family gathering or something nice is happening, a wedding, birthday, people would say the toasts about peace all the time. When you hear this, you will never imagine these people want war. Everyone says they want peace. But at the same time, the war itself is so romanticized, you know? And it's kind of good to be a hero. It's good to die for your homeland. And we don't want war, but if I become a hero, it's cool. It's not. What people don't realize, it's not that you shouldn't target an average Azerbaijani coming from other side there, because they're also victims of the war system. I personally, what I have problems and whom I target, it's of course Azerbaijani government, which sustains their power for so many years in Azerbaijan, kills so many people from their country firstly, and also from Armenia. And also I have problems with Armenian government. I have questions that I ask them or address them at least, because I'm a citizen of Armenia and you're responsible for me, yeah? But this is something that I lack in our societies. People, instead of addressing the governments, they turn their sides into people, and they project their whole hatred and aggression to people. But this is a wrong dynamic, because we should come together to understand what we can do together to fight this war on the top, you know?
I'm actually more positive about long-term future, not immediate future. So I think we all will be really, really tired of the never-ending cycle of violence that comes out of the fault in the system. And yeah, that's where I see my role as a person, as a human rights defender, as a journalist, peace builder, whatever. It's just a human being. Understanding what is wrong and how we can find solutions. Maybe we need to restructure something. Maybe we just need to get rid of some systems. Maybe we need to fully, completely, and imagine and envision a fully new world.
I know for sure that I'm not going to end the war itself in this region. I'm not going to save the world, no. But what I can do personally on my capabilities, like what is my power, I want to turn it into my everyday practice, my life. Even interacting with Azerbaijani people here in Tbilisi, it's such a big act of resistance for me. Like seeing you and not seeing an Azerbaijani at the first place, it's such an important achievement for me that took for so many years from me to get there, and I'm happy for that. And I want to normalize this more. And I don't want to just put it on the future, I want to practice it now.